This is the MIDCONVO podcast, and my name is Paul, and we got Edward Lee Films here. In this episode, we're going to recap Season 2, Chicago
edition.
Yep.
This has probably been one of my favorite cities for the podcast. The vibes here are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, the vibes of the people here are crazy. The city is dope. I'm really happy with how this trip has gone and all the episodes we've gone for this season that hopefully all you guys have enjoyed now.
Dude, I'm a Midwest guy. Chicago impressed me.
Dude, yeah, it was fun.
There was a lot of awesome photographers, videographers, graphic designers, creative directors that showed up to our coffee hang this morning at South Facing Windows, where we're doing this entire season. So if you are watching on YouTube, you'll see all the different corners of the space, whether it's guest episodes or me and Ed riffing. But Ed, what do you think, man? What are some of your favorite moments from this season?
Whoa. Didn't roll the intro music, bro.
Wait, we're going to do it?
We still got to roll the intro
all right,
music.
1, 2, 3. What do you think about Season 2? And the reason why I ask is because we're like coming up on 100 episodes, which is insane.
Yeah, for sure.
Season 2 doesn't mean that we just started. It means that Season 1 was in Toronto, which was awesome because we're trying to roll out this new seasonal format. And we decided Chicago for Season 2. Why did we decide on Chicago?
I think honestly, there's just so much talent in Chicago that I feel like isn't really highlighted enough. I mean, when we think of talented creatives, typically like LA comes to mind, New York comes to mind. But Chicago just has so much talent here, especially like in the music industry or sports. And I feel like a lot of people who do listen to our podcast or who know us, they're kind of in that like fitness world. They do like musicians. We have some concert people as well. So there's just a lot of talent here that was untapped. And also we had an interesting episode with some founders and people at big companies. So that was fun too.
Let's name drop some of the people in Chicago that stand out when you think of Chicago in the creative space. Let's give some credit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me at least, I mean, I feel like I met a lot of people, but when it came to people in Chicago, there's the Creative Chicago Club, like those are the homies. There's like Eric Floberg, Gene, Braxton, and Steven.
Awesome
Obviously,
dudes. Johnny,
Jayhawk, aka Jayhawk. We had dinner with him on the trip as well. And the people that we brought on the podcast. And Nolis, we're shooting in South Facing Windows. Alina, Mike, and Nolis, who run this studio.
Crazy talented people.
And there's more. There's more. And the people we had on the pod, you know?
That's so good. I think in the past, we've jumped on trying to find photographers and videographers in the space. What's unique about this season is that we picked a theme, and I want you to say what the theme is in a second. But we decided that it would be cool to also bring on just creative entrepreneurs, founders that I feel like have also shared a passion for supporting the creative community. But what's the theme to kind of tee up season?
Yeah, I mean, as many who have been listening, the theme for Chicago has been building with others and community. I'd love to hear from you as well, like why that's so important. But I just think community is something that a lot of people are lacking these days. And something that a lot of people need. And it's not really something that people talk about much. At least it feels like it's not talked about much in smaller areas, smaller niches. And so I just have felt this trip how impactful community could be. But like for you, like what does that mean? I know you're big on it because obviously the program, TFP and all that. But why is community so important for you?
I think it's because I've seen what happens when you don't have community in the industry. And I think Nola said it on our episode with him. Shout out to Nola, but he's like, I love my group of friends because we can be competitive with one another and support one another in ways like that. And I think being a creative entrepreneur is lonely, first and foremost. So when it comes to the theme of building with others, I've learned so much by just building the podcast with you. I've learned so much by building the freelance photographer with Cole. I've learned so much by just building a media business with my wife. So when that comes to community, like coming to Chicago, I think it's so cool to get an inside look at what others are doing. And I saw that with all the guest episodes.
And I also think too, building the podcast together has shown us that it's not always about the numbers. And that's what's really cool. Of course, we are on social media. You guys are probably watching this on a social media platform or listening. And sure, would we love to have it like blow up and everyone's listening to MidConvo? I mean, I think that's everyone's goal. We'd be lying if that wasn't one of ours.
Yeah.
But I will say I now, not even just this trip, but just in general, building this with you and obviously very in line with our topic for this season, there's such a different fulfillment that just comes from being in real life and meeting people just outside of being on a screen. And I think that was really important for me.
Wow, that's good.
In this season, but also building the podcast in general.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the guests that we brought onto this season, let's kind of recap who those people are. We brought on Alina Savor. Crazy talented.
Crazy talented.
That episode was fire. We sat down and did the overhead light like this. I loved her perspective on the industry. And again, I think the common theme here is super humble.
Very humble.
Who else did we bring on?
Yeah, we also brought on Andrew Glatt.
Glatt. I feel like this dude had like maybe a season where he thought he was going to be a rapper, but that's not true.
He's a cool guy.
That last name's awesome.
He's a really cool guy. He, for those that listened to that episode, he was the starter of the Friday Morning Swim Club, which is like a huge thing that started here.
You're in Chicago, you've heard of it.
Yeah, and so he's so big on community. He's so big on bringing people together. And so having him was so perfect for this season. But just as a human being, he's just a great guy. And I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation with Andrew.
That's good.
We also had
Corbett Drummy.
Yeah, tell us about Corbett. How'd you feel about that episode?
My guy. He 30 under 30 Forbes, founder of Popular Pays. He's now the VP of brand collaborations at Lightrix. But he's always supported creatives. And he's always been obsessed with trying to figure out how to create, innovation that is also going to further people's careers. So that was a great conversation. My guy is going off. He's also one of the few people I know that I feel like can speak to AI, which is kind of this gray area right now.
That was the first time I think ever on our podcast we went pretty deep into like AI talk, which I wasn't really expecting, but very happy went down that because we did talk about a lot of relevant things for the people who in our industry and people who listen to this podcast. That was a very unique perspective. If you haven't already listened to that one with Corbett Drummy, I would definitely go give that one a listen.
So good.
And it's just he's someone who has so much experience, not just as like a freelance creative, which there's nothing wrong with that. Being a freelance creative is freaking hard and very respectable if you run your own thing. But he's just been on big teams. He sat at, big tables, big conversations, getting acquired, like his company got bought out. And now he's working on basically future tech.
Totally.
So very interesting conversation, that one for sure.
I think if there's one person that has a good pulse on what brands are looking for, it's him, because he's always been kind of this matchmaker between brands and creatives. So that episode was good. And then another guest that we had was Noah's.
Dude, legend.
When I first found his website and his work, I'm scrolling and I'm like, my goodness, this man cooked.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't really even tell with Nolas when you first meet him because the dude is just so humble. Like, he's just so humble.
Super humble.
I've never seen someone with a portfolio like that, to be honest. He's worked with some of the biggest names that we know that you don't have to even be a creative to know these names in his portfolio. Yeah. Just like literally like household.
Recognizable content too.
Yeah, but you would never know that because you meet him, he's just like this super down-to-earth dude, just genuine, good vibes, very humble, and which all the guests were. It seemed to be like a pretty common theme I'm noticing in just the creatives here in Chicago. Everyone's just like humble and very good with the vibes.
Is that a Kendrick song?
What is?
Humble? Or is that Drake?
Are we going there?
Yeah.
We're talking about Drake and Kendrick on the pod right now.
No, that's so good, man. I think the guest episodes were good. Me and you, though, I think really, because between seasons, we have a lot of downtime outside of our busy creative work to think about like, what is a theme that's going to resonate, but also what are some like conversations that me and you can have that I feel like are going to add value based on our past experiences. We talked about the art of asking questions. We talked about some experiences with how to crush anxiety
on set. And also just me losing all my camera gear. That was a fun story time.
Which has nothing to do with, actually it has a lot to do with community.
Yeah, I mean, they came together.
Hey, the community came around.
Yeah.
If you listen to that episode, it's kind of a Cinderella story, man.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
It's the ups and the downs. But all that to say, I'm like so pumped.
Yeah.
I'm refreshed.
Me too. I mean, I think too, I just want to say, like, very in line with our own theme, like building with others. Building this podcast with you and just in general, building this mid convo was so cool because it made me realize, I think this trip kind of cemented it for me. We are very much so in our own lane at the moment.
Yeah.
And that feels really good. Like, we're not looking at what other people are doing. We're not looking at how to become like the biggest podcast. Like, I feel like we're building something pretty unique to us. And I feel like we definitely have a style and how we want to do it.
Yeah.
And that feels good. And that just comes with time.
So
Because it wasn't like that for the first couple trips we've been on for the podcast. So
let's talk real quick about the community event.
yeah.
Because whenever we travel for MIDCONVO, which we've done quite a bit, but like when we talk about like actual seasons, when we did Toronto, we did the in-person workshop, which was a lot of work and fun and rewarding, a little bit more structured. For Chicago, we're like, man, what if we get a coffee cart? What if we open it up where we do a free coffee hang and we just get to network and like hang with people in the local community? 60 people RSVP, it sold out. We met a lot of awesome people. Some of the best conversations, like I can tell these people are hungry to connect with others. And also there's really no gatekeeping, which I think ultimately is what that event was all about. And we had the stickers.
Dude, the stickers.
How about the stickers that came out this season?
Only took us freaking 50 episodes to make some stickers.
If you're watching the YouTube podcast episode right now version, we're going to throw up some sticker shots right here.
Dude, stickers. And we also made some of these like cool one-of-one merch pieces.
Yep.
Which was rad. Like I'm rocking it right now. We got the mid-combo.
Embroidered, not screen printed, embroidered. And then the back, we got
like the
all the
words
states
on the
that
back.
we've been to with MIDCONVO.
It's just cool.
Yeah.
It's just cool having anything branded. I mean, small. We're probably not gonna ever like do this crazy merch stuff, but
yeah,
it's always cool to build brand on anything.
Yeah, I think if you're listening to this and you enjoyed the season, let us know maybe in the comments or shoot us a DM where we should go next, or what guests you feel like we should bring on the pod. Because wherever we go next, we're going to do some sort of in-person hang, and we're also going to make sure that we bring on people that we feel like are going to be able to share, honestly, some insight in the middle of the conversation.
Yeah. And we talked about it as we're evolving the podcast, you know, what it's becoming and who we want to bring on. We're realizing that we really have one goal, and that's to bring people together and bring people into the middle of the conversation.
That's good.
So whatever that entails for the coming seasons, that will always bring true. We'll always bring people together, and we're always going to have these conversations for y'all to listen in on.
You're going to make me tear up. You know what's cool about that, guys? It took us until now. I don't know what episode this is. We'll see, but it took us until now to figure out that.
Yeah.
And we're going to put that in the Instagram bio. You're going to see that on the website. And I think this podcast is for everyone. And thank you so much for tuning into this season.
Yeah. And if we haven't come to your city yet and you listen to the pod, shoot us a DM. I mean, we're kind of in the phase right now trying to figure out where our next couple cities are. And if there's an overwhelming amount of people that listen to this pod that are in one city, we got to go there and meet y'all in person.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to season 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Connect with the guest. Let us know if you guys have any questions, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace out.